Now, a food company based in Downpatrick is claiming a world first. It's produced bacon which is free of nitrites, which are believed to cause cancer. The company is Finnebrogue, and its chairman, Denis Lynn, is on the line this morning. Also in studio this morning, Professor Chris Elliott from Queen's University, Belfast. You're both very welcome. Chris, if I can start with you, for non-scientists like myself, tell us about nitrites and why this is important.
Yes, for many types of processed meats, particularly bacon, chemicals are added called nitrates, and they're added for two reasons. One is to make sure they're microbiologically safe, so there's no pathogens can get us, and the other reason is to increase the shelf life. One of the unfortunate side effects of adding these nitrates to processed meats is that they form compounds called nitrosamines, which have been linked with colon cancer by the World Health Organization.
So why is producing bacon without nitrates so remarkable?
Many people have tried to achieve this over many years and have tried and failed, basically. It's a very, very difficult process to control, to make absolutely sure the bacon is safe and it has that shelf life. So what we're seeing here is, I think, one of the great innovations around food processing.
Denis, how long have you been working on this?
I first started looking at bacon. I was just looking at my iPhone. I think it was the 20th of May 2012. As you know, we make sausages for British retailers, and I suppose one of the obvious things for us to do was to look at bacon and look at ham. But I couldn't figure out how to do it without nitrites, and we certainly didn't put any nitrites in our sausages, and we weren't going to start making bacon with nitrites in. So I stumbled across a genius chemist from Spain, who did his PhD in taking chemicals out of our food products. And he did that 26 years ago, and he spent the last 26 years doing that every single day. So basically what he's done is he's got fruit extracts, complete fruit extracts, and spices, and has basically created a dried powder, which are very, very high in antioxidants and keep the pork pink, but also keep it safe for that period of time. So I'm really pleased to be part of this, because this is going to change the face of processed meats worldwide.
And bacon is big business, Denis. I mean, almost $1 billion spent on bacon in the UK every year?
Yeah, and that's just the UK, and ham's probably 1.5, and then pizza toppings and all sorts. I mean, there's a lot of turkeys, chicken. There's a lot of processed meats manufactured, and now we can make it safer than it was before.
A lot of people will be asking a big question. Does this bacon taste the same? And number two, will this be more expensive?
Well, the first answer is it tastes absolutely the same. We have spent probably a year making sure it tastes exactly the same as bacon. In actual fact, in some of the test trials we've done, we've actually beaten normal cured bacon. In fact, we're beating them regularly at this point. What's it cost? It costs, I think it's $2.99 for a pack, and I'm sure we'll be doing promotions throughout the year. So it certainly is not more expensive than high-end bacon. And does it have the same shelf life as traditional bacon? Absolutely, the same shelf life. So all the big supermarkets then are on board with this, are they? Well, all the smart ones are, but some of them haven't joined just yet. Chris, is this the sea change that Denis is saying it is?
Yes, I mean, I'm really very enthused about this particular project. It has taken a long time. We do eat a lot of processed foods, and we know that processed foods can have detrimental effects to our health. So I think this is a bit of a game changer in terms of driving the whole ethos of having safer processed foods. Stay with us, both of you. Emma Shields is on the line this morning. She's Health Information Officer with Cancer Research UK. Emma, nice to talk to you.
Good morning.
What do you make of this development? I mean, does the bacon that we currently eat today really cause cancer?
Yeah, so there is really good evidence to show that bacon and other processed meats are linked to bowel cancer specifically. And so, yeah, it is really encouraging to see companies are looking at ways in which they could make their foods healthier. But when it comes to to cancer risk, there are more reasons to cut down on bacon and other processed meats other than just the nitrates. So our advice remains the same, that having some bacon every now and then isn't going to do much harm. But if you are looking to reduce the risk of bowel cancer, then cutting down is a good idea.
But do you see this as significant news?
Yeah, like I said, nitrates are linked to, is one way in which processed meats are thought to increase the risk of bowel cancer, but there are other ways as well. Some of those ways are chemicals that are found naturally in red meat, so things like heme. So, yeah, it's too early to know what sort of impact these might have, I guess.
I mean, Chris, is it overly simplistic to say we've been told a lot to cut down on processed meat, and a lot of people find it very, very difficult when they walk past their traditional, shop in the morning and they smell that whiff of the bacon, and it's hard to walk past that bacon sandwich. So is it overly simplistic to say that traditional bacon we need to be careful, but this bacon we can eat as much of it as we like?
I think what we always have to do is think about having a balanced diet, and that is eating some of the fruit and veg that we talk about. But we all rely on so many forms of processed foods now. So I think the drive to make processed foods healthier, because, bacon also contains a lot of very helpful things for our diet, vitamins and so forth. So I think this could be a change in the way that people think about how food should be processed going forward.
Emma, is there any evidence to suggest that people are thinking differently about, their intake of processed meat?
Yeah, I mean, we do know that when the World Health Organization came out with their advice a couple of years ago, that it did make people listen. So that's really encouraging. But yeah, there's still a long way to go. So, and it's also important to clarify that the evidence linking processed meat is as good as it is linking smoking, but smoking is still far, far more risky when it comes to cancer.
Denis, just one last one to you. I mean, you're being hailed this morning as helping to have saved the bacon bapper or bacon sandwich, depending on your preference, of course, according to some. What are you going to try and help save next?
Well, can I just go back to one point made a few minutes ago? Processed meats, World Health Organization says that they're about twice as bad as eating fresh meat. What we've done with this bacon is we've made it as safe as eating fresh meat. So we have halved the risk. So because there's nothing in this apart from fruit and spice extracts, so we've halved the risk. And if we look at half the risk, that takes it from 66 cases per 100,000 down to 56 cases per 100,000, because it's just now fresh meat. That's in the UK alone something like 6,000 cases a year. So I'm so excited about this. It's not real. Sorry, what was the question? I was
saying, now that you've been credited with helping to have saved the bacon bapper, bacon sandwich, what are you going to help save next for us, Denis?
Well, the world probably, but just before that, we're working very, very hard on taking plastics out of all of our products. We're trying to figure different innovative ways with Queen's University about taking chemicals out with regards to E223, and also taking out plastics.
Well, Denis, nice to talk to you this morning. That's Denis Lynn, who's the chairman of Finnebrogue, also Professor Chris Elliott from Queen's University, and Emma Shields, who was the health information officer with Cancer Research UK.